when I see the difference between what I had in the army, what I have in corporate, the big thing is, चाहे वो छोटा से छोटा टास्क क्यों ना हो या बड़े से बड़ा टास्क क्यों ना हो, ऑब्जेक्टिव क्लियर डिफाइन होना चाहिए. जब तक आपको पता नहीं कि जाना क्या है, करना क्या है, वो बेचारा जो the people you're leading, how will they know what to do? So therefore, the big thing is to be able to identify what the objective is. Country था और अभी मैं corporate में हूँ, anything for the company. So loyalty is a big factor that everybody should possess. Loyal not to yourself or to your family needs, but loyal to the organization. If you are loyal to the organization, automatically you will be hardworking, or automatically you will be trustworthy, automatically you will be knowledgeable, automatically you will deliver.
Hello everyone, welcome in the second episode of the Med Talk, powered by Game of Pharma. Today we have with us Atul Suri sir. Welcome on the show, sir.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
So today our guest is Mr. Atul Suri sir, who has served the Indian Army for more than 25 long years, and currently he is working as the Vice President of the Great Alembic Pharma, a company having a history of more than 100 years.
Sir, Army is known for its hard work and discipline.
Yes.
तो सर ये स्किल्स ने आपको आपकी जर्नी के दौरान, प्रोफेशनल जर्नी के दौरान कैसे हेल्प किया?
सी जो स्किल्स हैं आर्मी के वो आप सब जानते हैं, और वो सारे स्किल्स जो हैं यू कैन यूज देम टू वेरी गुड सक्सेस विद इन द कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड. I'm sure of them. What are these skills? Discipline and hard work, definitely. So apart from that, you have honesty, hard work, loyalty. But what makes you successful outside is, I think, people focus. क्योंकि जब आप लड़ाई के लिए जाते हो, किसको लेके जाते हो? आप अपने जवानों को लेके जाते हो लड़ाई में. वो ट्रस्ट होना चाहिए. The people you lead should have total trust in you. They have that confidence in you कि जो कुछ ये आदमी मुझे बता रहा है, ये ऑफिसर मुझे बता रहा है, ठीक है, मैं इसको फॉलो करूंगा क्योंकि ये बंदा ठीक है. And they blindly follow you wherever you tell them to go. They will do it. That obviously comes with a huge amount of people focus from your side, a huge amount of trust that needs to get built. Apart from that, the ability in the army to clearly define an objective. When I see the difference between what I had in the army, what I have in corporate, the big thing is, चाहे वो छोटा से छोटा टास्क क्यों ना हो या बड़े से बड़ा टास्क क्यों ना हो, ऑब्जेक्टिव क्लियर डिफाइन होना चाहिए. जब तक आपको पता नहीं कि जाना क्या है, करना क्या है, वो बेचारा जो the people you're leading, how will they know what to do? So therefore, the big thing is to be able to identify what the objective is, to clearly communicate what that objective is, to give out a very clear-cut plan for implementation, and then carry it out with them. The plan should be such, they should be confident that even my leader is the one who can even do it himself, and therefore comes in a huge amount of competence. The other very important aspect, you have in the army is you have to develop your entire team yourself. You cannot say कि ये बंदा ठीक नहीं है, इसको US आर्मी में ट्रांसफर कर दो, इसको पाकिस्तान आर्मी में ट्रांसफर कर दो, या इसको कंपनी से निकाल दो. वो नहीं होता. So whoever you have with you, you have to develop them and get them up to that requisite level so that they can perform the task and come out successful. Whereas in corporate, I don't see that happening. बंदा ठीक नहीं है, ठीक है, उसको give him, a bad appraisal, don't give him an increment, वो खुद company छोड़ के निकल जाएगा. But a person who served in the forces, in the military, in the army, knows that his team is his team. The life of every team member is his responsibility, and therefore he develops his team very well. और ये एक बहुत बड़ी खसूसियत है, which actually sets a military man apart in corporate. The ability to develop your team so that they deliver.
That's really good to know. And so हमें लगता है कि जो qualities आप आर्मी से लेकर के आए हैं, आप श्योर उसको corporate world में implement करते होंगे, and that makes you stand out somewhere from the other people in this field. So sir, our next question is Indian pharmaceutical industry के बारे में हम लोग काफी कुछ सुनते हैं, like India is known as the pharmacy of the world. हमारा production and exports काफी ज़्यादा है. So sir, we want you to define a bit in brief कि हमारा कितना बड़ा industry, what is the market size of this India pharmaceutical industry, and what are the dynamics of this market?
Yeah, so let's just talk of a few numbers, and the numbers that I'll give you will be of the latest, maybe April or so, because the main numbers have not really come in as yet. But insofar as the Indian pharma industry is concerned, there are two components. There's an export component, there's a domestic market. But both of them put together, it's at about 41 billion US dollars. नो अभी जो आपके व्यूअर्स हैं वो थोड़े कंफ्यूज होंगे, मिलियन कितना होता है, बिलियन, हम लोग सब स्कूलों में सिर्फ लाख और करोड़ों में बात करते हैं. So I will sort of help you there. Now 41 billion US dollars, and assuming a conversion rate about 73, 74 rupees per dollar, firstly, a billion is 100 crores. So that actually comes up to almost 3 lakh crores. That's the size of our Indian pharma industry. And roughly iska 50% is export and 50% is domestic market. So I've written down the latest as of MAT. That's the moving annual total in April 21. The numbers are for the domestic Indian pharma industry, 1,63,453 crores. That's how huge our Indian domestic market is. Now, the good part is, I don't know if you people read, but if you know what the economic survey is something that the finance minister sort of gives out much before the budget on how things are going to pan out in the budget in that financial year. And in the economic survey of 2021, Nirmala Sitharaman, our honorable finance minister, has carried out a little survey and given out the numbers very clearly. What they've said clearly is, over the next decade or so, Indian pharma is set to grow 3 times. Currently, I told you it's about $41 billion. By 2024-25, we'll get to $65 billion and US dollars. And by we are in 2030, tab tak will be 120 million US dollars. That's how huge this is going to be. About 9 lakh crores is what this industry is set out to be. So it's a huge market, and it's only going to keep growing, like I've already told you. So that's insofar as what the size of the Indian pharma market is domestic. Yeah.
Exactly. ये हमारे लिए it's like just numbers. We can't even imagine this long, this huge numbers.
It's a very big industry.
But सर आपने जितना बताया, it seems like कि अभी काफी सालों तक हमारे पास में काफी opportunities and it's going to be go higher and higher and higher. अभी इसमें बहुत peak आना बाकी है. So sir, tell us something about the dynamics of this market, please.
See, the dynamics as such, it is set to grow. See, what is dynamics? Dynamics is change, and change is growth. So there's going to be a huge amount of growth. I've already covered what the growth is going to be. But if you were to fragment it down into therapy areas and things like that, I would say, as on today, the therapy area, which is cardiac, is the one that has the maximum growth. It has a growth at about 13 to 14%, which is huge. You would also be interested in knowing which are the therapy areas that have maximum market share.
Sure, sir.
Of course, again, cardiac is the one that has the maximum market share. It's to the tune of about 12.5, 12.6%. After cardiac, right now, yeah, bolo.
So is it in terms of the domestic market or like the exports?
Domestic. Only the Indian pharma domestic market is what I'm focusing on right now. Sure. And within that, it is the cardiac therapy area, which has the highest growth, like I told you, about 13, 14%. The interesting part is on market share. It has the highest market share also, to the tune of about 12 to 13%. Anti-infectives comes in after that. Gastrointestinal stands at number 3 with about 10% market share. Even anti-infective is at about 10.7% market share. Then, of course, comes the anti-diabetic. And I'll talk about, cardiac and anti-diabetic also in a little bit in some time. And then, of course, vitamins, it's at an 8.3 market share. Vitamins and all, thanks to the pandemic, has also, grown. Everybody seems to be having zinc and, all these calcium, vitamin D3 and everything. So that has shown a substantial growth. Now, to answer your question, see, we are in the Indian generic market, where molecules that are out of patents, we make generic versions of those, and then we sell them in the domestic markets. So a lot of interesting molecules around diabetics, cardio are coming out of patent in the next couple of years. So you're going to see a lot of affordability in terms of these particular molecules in these two therapy areas. Now, affordability means it gets cheaper, but because of the kind of volumes that we have in our country, and making cheaper medicines available, affordable medicines available to a larger section of the society, automatically the size of the market grows. So that's what's interesting currently. And one could go on because there's so many therapy areas, but I'm just restricting myself to the top 4-5 therapy areas. So broadly, I hope this answers your question.
Yeah, that's thank you.
तो आपने जैसे अभी थेरेपीज एरिया के बारे में बात किया, तो सर मेन थेरेपीज एरिया जो हैं अभी, जैसे आपने कार्डियोवैस्कुलर के बारे में बात की और गैस्ट्रोइंटेस्टाइनल के बारे में बात की, तो सर अभी जैसे हमने देखा कि ग्रोस डोमेस्टिक मार्केट में द हाईएस्ट सेलिंग ड्रग इज फ्लेपिरावीर, एंटीवायरल ड्रग।
या
तो सर आपको क्या लगता है कि व्हाट आर द नेक्स्ट मेजर थेरेपीज एरिया इन द फार्मास्यूटिकल?
Yeah, so quite clearly, the current thing is dictated because of the pandemic. So it is a one-off event, really. And therefore, because of the pandemic, there have been huge amount of growth in certain molecules and in certain medicines, let me put it very clearly. Like you're saying, the ones that you took the name of. Of course, the others, like I told you earlier, plenty of vitamins, minerals, have also seen huge growths. One of the ones that our company is famous for, Azithral, has also seen a huge amount of growth. But all that is connected to the pandemic. Once we get a hold of the pandemic, which I sure should happen in a year or so, then we will get back to far more chronic therapies dictating the market. And therefore, I would still maintain that anti-diabetic, considering our country, the number of people we have who suffer from diabetes, as also the cardiovascular, these are the two therapy areas, apart from GI, which will continue in the foreseeable future to grow. Because like I said, a lot of molecules are coming out of patent, affordability is there, and therefore there will be a huge amount of percolation across the country. And these will then actually be the ones that will be leading the market.
So the next question is like Indian pharmaceutical, not Indian, like pharmaceutical industry is very different from the other industries in terms of an aspect of marketing we see. Because here's हमें हमारे जो consumers है, they are not directly like हम directly consumers को अपने medicine से products promote नहीं करते हैं. We reach the doctors,
Correct.
we reach the healthcare providers, and like that only हम यहाँ पे advertisement या promotion के लिए किसी actor और like celebrities को इस्तेमाल नहीं करते हैं. We go for the representatives. तो सर वी वांट टू नो सर कैसे फील्ड में वर्क करके छोटे लेवल पे रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स वर्क करके एंड ओवरऑल मार्केट के सेल को बढ़ाते हैं, कंपनी के सेल को बढ़ाते हैं.
So what you said is, yeah, so it's actually a very interesting thing. Firstly, and I tell all my medical representatives this, our profession, the profession of a medical representative in pharma industry, is the most difficult. It is the only sales guy who's selling to a doctor or a person who's far more educationally competent than he is.
Yes.
When you sell insurance, you go to a man, the fellow doesn't know, he says, yaar jahan sign karna hai bata do, main mar jaunga to meri beevi ko kitna paisa milega.
Yes,
He knows nothing. You go, unless you're an auto engineer, you're going to buy a car, you've just seen a few reviews of auto car, or on YouTube you see some reviews, and you go and you buy your car. That guy there doesn't even have to tell you, because you, but herein lies the difficulty of a medical representative. Firstly, who is a medical rep? At best, he's a B-Farm. He's a chota bacha, 23, 24, 25 years old. He's entering a senior endos chamber or a cardio's chamber or a gynecologist's chamber, who's so much more qualified than him, who knows everything. But where is the difference? And I tell my medical representatives the same thing. While the doctor is totally knowledgeable, the doctor has done his whatever degrees maybe 10, 20 years back. The doctor needs updates. The doctor doesn't have time. It's not that updates are not available to the doctor. Updates are available to the doctor. There's a plethora of information available to you on your internet. You just Google a thing. The doctor is a member of so many associations, so many journals, big fat books come to the doctor. But does the doctor have time to actually go through all of that or not? So therefore, herein comes the pharma industry. The pharma companies see what is important. What are the latest updates? What are the references? What are the clinical trials? What are the papers that have come in? What is the practitioner's perspective, you know, people who have used these molecules in various situations, how does that happen? Then we have a medical services team within the pharma industry. वो सब ये पढ़ पुढ़ के, they make them into very small, crisp communications. And then you have your medical marketing communications, where then the medical rep just takes it to the doctor in 30 seconds. He will tell him that this is the latest in this molecule, you can do this. This study has seen so much of success on these sort of patients. You can, you know, even the dosages are told to them. Where does a doctor learn after finishing and passing out of college? कहाँ opportunity मिलता है doctors को? So it is through these continuous medical education, जो आप सब CMEs कहते हैं, it is this, and herein is the most important man, the person who carries it. Now, why does the medical rep wear a tie and carry this lovely briefcase? Or nowadays, of course, it's backpack. ये उन जमानों, and this, one of my zonal managers told me of his father. He says, sir, my father was also a medical representative. वो zonal manager करीब 40 साल का होगा. So his father must have been, you know, a medical rep some 40-45 years back. He would take a train and go down to the villages, and the doctors would wait for him to come, because he would come with medical updates. उन जमानों में ना तो Google था, ना इंटरनेट था, ना कुछ था. वो सिर्फ यही था, मेडिकल रेप अपने बैग के में कुछ एक मेडिकल पेपर्स लेके आता था और डॉक्टर्स को दिखाता था कि ये है, these are the latest updates, अपने प्रैक्टिस में ये आप करें, ये कुछ एक सैंपल्स हैं, ये, these are the latest studies, please update yourself and treat your patients. So that was the respect that the medical representative had in those days, and it still continues. जो companies बड़ी scientific तरीके से अपने products को promote करते हैं, you will see the difference, the way a doctor treats a medical representative from a company that is promoting through scientific means and through other means of just doctor को खुश कर दो, कोई एक छोटा पेन या गिफ्ट दे दो डॉक्टर को, डॉक्टर खुश हो जाएगा, एक प्रिस्क्रिप्शन लिख देगा. So therefore it's very important. It's very, very important to be scientifically oriented in everything that you do. And that is why a medical representative had that oda, tie पहन के, crisp shirt पहन के जाए. So that's the whole story. And how does it pan out was the original question. And it's actually very fascinating. You know, when I came into the industry and I would see people who get excited कि एक prescription मिल गया, ये डॉक्टर ने मुझे एक prescription दिया. मैं सोचता था एक prescription का मतलब है 3 पत्तियां, each पत्ती is 100 rupees, ये 300 रुपए में इतने सारे खुश क्यों हो रहे हैं? Then you realize the power of aggregation. क्योंकि वो एक पत्ती यहाँ पे, एक पर्चा वहां पे, एक ऑर्डर यहाँ पे, when you add it all up, it all becomes, जैसे अंग्रेजी में कहते हैं, little drops of water make the mighty ocean. तो pharma industry is a great example of that. एक एक medical rep, एक एक पता नहीं कहाँ किसी कोने में किसी एक डॉक्टर को जाके डिटेल कर रहा है, अपना डिटेलिंग स्टोरी लेके, एक वहां से प्रिस्क्रिप्शन निकल रहा है, पर वो एक 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 करके companies become the biggest companies, and pharma is known as big pharma. That's the reason. So that's how it all pans out.
It was really interesting to know जो आपने like explain किया. सही में it's very different from the other industries. It's very difficult.
Yeah, of course.
And sir जो example आप दे रहे हैं उस time की, it was like I think उस time में तो हमारे इंडिया के अंदर में healthcare providers and facilities just start हुए थे.
बिल्कुल.
Even our pharmaceutical industry has just started that time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes sir. सर आपने बोला कि यस सर, इंडस्ट्री को मतलब रन करने के लिए बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स काम में आते हैं. तो सर देखा जाए तो मेनली एक इंडस्ट्री को रन करने के लिए 5 हैंड्स जरूरी होते हैं, मैन, मटेरियल, मशीन, मनी एंड मैथड. तो सर व्हाट आर द सपोर्टिव रिक्वायरमेंट्स व्हिच आर नेसेसरी एसेंशियल फॉर रन ए इंडस्ट्री और ए कंपनी?
See, pharma industry and Indian domestic pharma industry के बारे में जब मैं बताऊंगा, I think one of the big pain points and pain areas is, do we have any innovator molecules in the country? How many Indian pharma companies have come up with innovator molecules? वो सब, you know, they're all MNCs who have, whether it's Glaxo, Novartis, or whatever, they all have these big innovator brands. So the pain point I have here is, I'm waiting for the day when there are enough innovator molecules that come out from Indian promoter-run companies, and therefore it's not easy, because research and development is a very, very laborious process also, and a very, very capital intensive thing. You know, I was reading a report some time back, and I don't remember the exact numbers, but barely 15-20% cases that are progressed actually ever get approved. So therefore, what is different from our industry and any other industry is this, we need a huge amount of support from the government. We need a huge amount of support in terms of, funding, which luckily, thanks to the pandemic, has happened. I'm not saying that the government has not supported earlier. They have supported earlier. There have been a lot amount of financial allocations, but I think the seriousness in actually rolling it out will now go up far, far more, because to affordable healthcare in rural areas. That's what's going to happen. If I'm afraid of anything today, it is the third wave. It is not the third wave that will impact us in Bombay, or maybe you're in Jaipur, because you people are well aware. Now you're in Jaipur, far away from Jaipur, you have Jasra sir, you have Wudda sir, you have Tonk. Is the infrastructure available there in Rajasthan in the deep down interiors? But you have a huge amount of people there. So what we need to do for an industry, see, firstly, our industry is totally patient centric. It is because there are patients, there is this industry. If you were in Ramraj and everybody was healthy, there would be no industry. So we have to be totally patient centric. The patients are all over our country, and we have to get into an equitable sort of approach. And now we need to take healthcare down, and herein lies the huge opportunity for the industry. I'm sure you want to know what opportunities lie. I look at getting into the rural areas with affordable healthcare as the single biggest opportunity for everybody in the healthcare industry, not just the pharmaceutical industry. So this is where we need to go. And what your question was in terms of what is the kind of support that you need, I think this is where the government has to step in to get the infrastructure going in the rural areas, so that pharma can also spread out on riding on that backbone of the infrastructure to provide healthcare down to the last village in India.
यस सर, बहुत सही कहा सर आपने कि मतलब ड्यूरिंग द पेंडेमिक, ड्यू टू द इकोनॉमिक प्रॉब्लम, हमने कोविड टेस्ट किट को भी बहुत इकोनॉमिकल मिनिमाइज करने की बहुत कोशिश की सर, और ये किसी हद तक प्रूव भी हुआ है सर.
बिल्कुल.
यस सर.
टॉकिंग अबाउट अपॉर्चुनिटीज एंड पैंडेमिक ने हम सबकी लाइफ बहुत ड्रास्टिकली चेंज किया इन सो मेनी वेज. सो I would like to come once more about this pandemic thing. Sir, we have seen that how pandemic has affected has made many of the major companies to face many kind of setbacks and downfalls. But sir, pharmaceutical industries में कहीं ना कहीं बहुत सारी नई opportunities निकल के आई हैं. Like due to the scarcity, maybe due to the online thing जो अभी recently start हुआ हमारा telemedicine and e-pharmacy and all. So sir, what are exactly these opportunities? Will you please explain some of this? So during this pandemic निकल के आई, and that will continue even after the pandemic.
Yeah. So, well, you could look at them as opportunities, but the way I look at it currently is that we have risen to a situation. There was lockdown. Patients couldn't come out of their houses to go and meet the doctors. Footfalls weren't there. There was a supply chain issue. The raw materials for manufacturing also. Though we said the essential services khul jayengi, but when you look at it holistically, we as an industry really rose to the occasion, and we were able to overcome all the problems that were there. And therefore what we have overcome as problems, as we get better at doing each one of those things, those are actually the opportunities. So let me tell you how. Firstly, you very correctly said it, telemedicine is really kicking off in a very great manner. It has been dictated because of the pandemic. It's come up because of the pandemic. It is going to get scaled up during the pandemic, but hopefully once the pandemic sort of recedes, then at that stage the convenience of telemedicine will come in, rather than getting up, going, taking a cab or catching a bus. Imagine again, I take you back to the villages of Jasra sir and Udda sir and Udaipur or Barmer or Jalipa, whatever places, Munabao that you have down there in Rajasthan. Imagine if someone had to take a train from Munabao and come all the way to Jodhpur just to show him or herself up at the hospital there. Now with telemedicine coming in, and with technology and digitization coming in, he can do that on his normal smartphone, which will now soon be available to everybody, because even that is getting cheaper. So the things that actually emerged during the pandemic will get scaled up for patient centricity and convenience. One of them, like I told you, is telemedicine. Like that also across the entire spectrum, whether it's in terms of manufacturing also, the government has woken up to it. You already have the PLIs being announced, the production linked incentives. You have pharma hubs coming up. Punjab government has very recently announced 3 pharma hubs which are going to come up. There's going to be, towards the Atmanirbhar campaign, a lot of financial allocation has been done. API is going to get manufactured in India. The pandemic has given us a realization that it's important. Many of our supplies were coming in from China at that point of time. Not just the pandemic, but even the security situation on our northern borders with China at times lead us to have certain problems in getting hold of API raw materials into the country. So this realization has actually propelled a huge amount of dynamism in the way we roll things out. And hopefully there is this realization. And I'm quite certain that this focus is here to stay until healthcare assumes. I think it's one of the biggest lessons our country has learned is the importance of healthcare. And I think that's really going to manifest itself in a very nice manner in the coming years. And in those lie all the opportunities.
So basically about e-pharmacy and telemedicine, ये चीजें हमारे पास पहले से available थी, but due to this pandemic and situation, people have just adopted the habit, the behavior, changed their behavior.
Exactly.
And it's rightly said, we humans are always subject to habits. So
correct. We are the most adaptable, but we adopted it earlier. We've adapted to it right now, and going forward, we will absorb it. It will become our second nature. To get on to part of life, to get on to the digital medium and all these platforms for patient convenience.
Yes, so तो हमने बात की जैसे R&D की बात की, telemedicines and newcomers like e-pharmacy also coming.
Yeah.
तो सर जो newcomers हैं और जो students हैं जो graduates हो रहे हैं वो कैसे prepare कर सकते हैं सर अपने आप को कि ये जो नए changes हो रहे हैं pharmaceutical industry?
See, there are two spheres to it. एक आप कह सकते हो कि technical और functional skills उनको hone करने पड़ेंगे. Or second are the soft skills also. Soft skills are also very important. I speak at a lot of colleges, almost 2 colleges a month I speak, and it's essentially during the pandemic because, these digital platforms available, I don't waste time traveling. I see a huge disconnect between soft skills and functional or technical skills. For a person to be successful, and I'm not just talking about, climbing the corporate ladder, you have to have both your skills in place. It's different whether you want to be in sales and marketing. Of course, your soft skills have to be a little more. If you're in R&D, your technical skills have to be a little more. But even in R&D, you have to have a fair share of your soft skills. You must know how to communicate. This is where I see, especially in our tier 2 cities, so many of these colleges, so many B pharmacy colleges are all over, but there is this big disconnect of soft skills and functional skills. So I think as students who are setting forth in the pharma industry, apart from your technical skills, see, जब आप join करोगे किसी company में, वो company ensure करेगा that you know the product inside out. If you're in research and development, you will start at the very basic thing. They will guide you at every stage, but nobody's going to teach you on your soft skills. And therefore, I feel soft skills are also a very important component of achieving success in your corporate life. Yeah.
So since we are talking about improving ourselves in terms of like facing the corporate world, so it's a very rightly said fact that every opportunity comes with new hurdles. And obviously हमारे pharmaceutical industry में भी हर दिन कुछ ना कुछ like we have to face something. So sir, as a student, as a fresher, as a newcomers, how can we adapt ourselves? What skills we can develop in ourselves for making us prepared to face this kind of hurdles, not panicking in this situation and things like that?
See, I think I've covered much of that in my previous answer that I gave you. But more specifically to the question that you've asked, I think students, people who are embarking on their careers have to stick to the things that I started off with. What were the good things that I learned in the Indian Army that have helped me in and kept me in good stead in corporate India? It is simply hard work. आजकल बहुत लोग कहते हैं हार्ड वर्क नहीं होना चाहिए, स्मार्ट वर्क होना चाहिए. वो कुछ भी नहीं है. It is only Angrezi. There can be nothing to replace hard work. What is smart work if you ask me for my definition? Smart work सिर्फ hard work है. Hard work के साथ आप अपना prioritization ठीक रखें, आपका time management ठीक रखें, वो smart work कहलाता है.
So
So
basically,
all
the
that नहीं हाँ
hard work in the right direction is smart work. Simply.
Exactly. You know, you cannot say smart work is not hard work. आपको काम करना ही पड़ेगा, कोई शॉर्टकट नहीं है. उसको आप तरीके से करो, टाइम प्लानिंग के साथ करो, टाइम मैनेजमेंट के साथ करो, प्रायोरिटाइज करो, अपनी रिसोर्सेज टास्क के मुताबिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करो. That is what smart work is. So continue it. That is my only 1 point thing that I have for the students. Everything else, your colleges will ensure that you pass your exams. The campus placements will ensure कि आपको किसी ना किसी कंपनी में ढंग का नौकरी मिल जाएगा, और वो कंपनी 150% आपके ऊपर इन्वेस्ट करेगा क्योंकि उन्होंने आपको हायर किया है to get you to be a success. But from your side, there is only one thing, and that is total hard work that is expected from any fresher joining any industry. This is industry agnostic. It is not only for pharma. ये नहीं कि film industry में join करूँगा तो मेरे को hard work नहीं करना पड़ेगा. So at the end of the day, the only thing that I have for anybody to overcome any hurdle is hard work. Hurdle क्या होता है? I always tell my team, कोई आके बताता है, sir problem हो गया. My one line answer is there is never a problem. There is a situation. ये एक सिचुएशन है, सिचुएशन का हल हमेशा निकल सकता है. सोच के, उसके बारे में विचार करके, put your mind to it, work hard towards it, you will surpass that situation. Like you're saying, surpassing hurdles, you will surpass hurdles. So there are never any problems. We're all well trained, we're all adaptable. We just need to focus ourselves, we need to be hardworking, and we can surmount any situation. So remember that there's never a problem ever. There are only situations that you have to overcome. You can overcome these situations with hard work and with a little bit of दिमाग. ठीक है? Yeah.
यस सर. सर जैसे हम देखें कि डिजिटल वे धीरे धीरे बहुत ग्रो कर रहा है सर. एंड रिसेंटली मैं 2 दिन पहले मैं लिंक्डइन पे सर्फिंग कर रहा था सर, एंड एक आदमी ने मतलब एक पेशेंट के लिए, पेशेंट का रिलेटिव था कोई, उसने एम्फोटेरेसिन बी के बारे में लिखा कि ही इज रिक्वायरिंग एम्फोटेरेसिन बी एंड टैगिंग सो मच ऑफ कंपनीज लाइक मेजर कंपनीज ऑफ फार्मास्यूटिकल which are producing the amphotericin B. And companies are replying that they are not able to sending the medicine because the government is supplying throughout the India the medicine. तो सर डिजिटल वे ने क्या हुआ कि पेशेंट और कंपनीज के बीच में एक लाइनअप क्रिएट कर दिया सर. तो व्हाट्स योर व्यूज ऑन दैट?
See, I very clearly, मेरा ये है कि today patients are far more in control of their lives and everything that's happening to them. इतना awareness पहले कभी नहीं था. Of course, yes, when you go to the doctor, you find one little poster outside, please leave Google outside and अंदर आओ, क्योंकि doctors भी परेशान हो चुके होते हैं, क्योंकि कई लोग इतना पढ़ लेते हैं, they think they're better than the doctor. But like they say in English, little knowledge is dangerous. But having said that, today's patient is far more in control. उसके पास इतने सारे apps हैं, health के बारे में इतने सारे informations आते रहते हैं उसके पास. He's part of so many social help groups. Let us say they're cancer victims, their support groups, you can reach out to each other, and all this is riding on digital. All this is riding on platforms, all this is online. So today's patient is far more aware, far more in control of himself, and this is only going to increase. The shift from bricks to clicks is here to stay. Today, very few people are going to go into the brick and mortar place. It's all about clicks. So there is already a very discernible shift from bricks to clicks. Like today, if we were to have this interview, we would have been sitting in a lovely hotel in Jaipur, maybe at whichever Rajvilas or whichever fancy hotel. एक cameraman वहाँ बैठा रहता और हम अपने poses कर रहे होते. And where have we gone today? You people have just got in touch with me. We had a 2-minute exchange on phone and a few chats, and today we are recording our own thing ourselves, and tomorrow it's going to be on Insta, and people who are following your handle will get to see this, and I will also link it on my LinkedIn profile. I have enough followers, automatically the reach increases. So digital is here to stay, and we need to constantly keep absorbing it in every sphere of activity, not just professional, but even personal life. That's my take.
ओके सर.
Yeah.
तो सर आपके यूथ के लिए कुछ लास्ट में कुछ की नोट्स, पार्टिंग थॉट्स कुछ आप?
In fact, right through my lecture, I think it's been through, my message is very clear right from the first question you asked me. Just be truthful to yourself, just be hardworking, just be loyal to the place that you are. You know, I remember my promoter, the owner of the company, called me once and he says, Atul, would you like to take this responsibility? तो मैंने उसको एक ही लाइन में जवाब दिया, I said, sir, जब तक मैं फौज में था, anything for the country था, और अभी मैं कॉर्पोरेट में हूँ, anything for the company. So loyalty is a big factor that everybody should possess. Loyal not to yourself or to your family needs, but loyal to the organization. If you are loyal to the organization, automatically you will be hardworking, or automatically you will be trustworthy, automatically you will be knowledgeable, automatically you will deliver. So वो बस दिल और दिमाग में होना चाहिए कि भैया, जैसे जब मैं फौज में था, सब कुछ मेरे कंट्री के लिए था, मैं जहां पे भी हूँ, आज मैं ओलंपिक में हूँ तो सब कुछ ओलंपिक के लिए है, कल मैं कहीं और होऊंगा, वो उस कंपनी के लिए है. वो जुनून होना चाहिए हर एक स्टेज में, हर एक इंडिविजुअल में, तभी our country will succeed in all spheres. That's the only message. Be true to yourself, be hardworking, everything else will fall in place. You know, transparency, the minute you start faking it कि मैं ये नहीं हूँ, मेरे को instant gratification चाहिए, मेरे Instagram handle पे वो कितने likes आए हैं, अच्छा सिर्फ 20 लाइक आए हैं, 15 मिनट बाद फिर से चेक कर रहा हूँ, 20 का 30 हो गया है. Everybody does it. Lokesh does it, Salman does it, Atul Suri also does it.
Yes, sir.
मैं अपना कोई डालता हूँ LinkedIn में, मैं हर नोटिफिकेशन चेक करता हूँ कितने लाइक हो गए हैं.
We are being so much influenced by these things these days.
Yeah, so we need to go beyond that. And if you are a clean guy, you're a hardworking guy, everything will fall in place. It's a very simple life. We people on our own complicate our own life. You know, if you were not mad about those likes on Instagram, wouldn't you sleep better at night? ये नहीं कि 11 बजे उठ के चेक किए कितने लाइक हो गए, कितने व्यू हो गए. अच्छा, वो इन्फ्लुएंसर ने स्टोरी डाल दे, उसके स्टोरी लाइन पे हा मेरे 10,000 व्यू हो गए. We are complicating our own lives. So lead a simple life. Get back to, you know, those days of kheti badi, where it was nothing. You would get up in the morning, go to the khet. Simple. Just be a simple person. This world will be a beautiful place to live in. Yeah. So that's my message. Be simple, be honest, be true to yourself, and be loyal. Sab kuch, everything will come your way. You have nothing to worry about.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time, sir, and
Nothing at
sharing
all.
such valuable information, sir.
Yeah, I was happy to interact with you. I'm very happy to interact with young, budding future of the country, and which is why I knew you were two young boys. You've got one Instagram handle. You've got this thing called Med Talks. You want to do it? I said, ठीक है, एक Saturday, Sunday को मैं 1 घंटा दे दूंगा. You know, it's not so much for my visibility, but so much to encourage you people to do the correct thing. So keep working well, keep working hard. God bless you all. I'm sure you'll be successful in everything that you do. My best wishes to all of you and everybody who's probably viewed. I'm not even sure they'll reach this stage, because आजकल सब 2 मिनट वो देखेगा कितना अच्छा ये 2 लाइन हो गया है, खत्म, move on to the next story. So but even then I'm still saying it. God bless all of you. Work hard, and I'm sure life will be really worth living.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.